Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for greatness.
Shit, Dave.
And we're back with another episode of the Autonomous Podcast. I am your host, Damian Jackson. As always, just me and the AI. Let's get right into this shit. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Epstein Files and the whole, immigration shit going on with ICE and stuff. Obviously, those are two topics in which people tend to, they're going to, clash over, right? The theme of the Autonomous Podcast, having autonomy, creating an autonomous society, a society in which individuals are individuals and they govern themselves. So in order to do that, you got to kind of get rid of the governments, right? But people don't like that because people don't want to deal with those type of situations in which they have to think for themselves. And we can have systems in place, but the systems do not need to be of control. They need to be of regulation and balance amongst us, but not set in stone, always and ever evolving. When you have these government infrastructures, Democrat or democracies, republics, communism, socialism, all the fucking isms in the world and shit, when you have those, you seem to be locked into those ideologies. And we all have been a part of that at some point in our lives. So you see the situation with ICE. People are like, oh, what the ICE agents are doing is wrong. They shouldn't be, they shouldn't kill no one. They shouldn't hurt nobody. And the other people are like, oh, well, they're doing their job. And if you get away with their job, they have the right to defend themselves anyways. But then you also know what type of job they're doing. Something you're going to put yourself in harm's way. And then you see the protest. Those things will always happen, right? There's no solution to it. How can there be a solution to it when the problem itself will always exist? As long as you have a country and you have those imaginary borders, you're going to have this issue. When you pick and choose who gets to come in, you're going to have an issue. You can make it be oh man, we feel so sad for them, the empathy to sympathize and things like that. Or it can be logical about, well, we want this person to come in. Well, this person went through our so-called legal process to get in. And then you can get mad at whoever the president is as they pick and choose and bend the rules and stuff and be like, oh, well, we only want a certain type of people in. Oh, you're racist or you're this and that. Yeah, they only draft certain people into the fucking NBA, right? They only draft certain people into the NFL, right? The selective groups. When you have a country, you tend to want to be selective about who you have in there. And if people are already born into that system, well, yeah, you're going to keep them there. And then people have the argument, I think, the whole thing with Billie Eilish talking about, no one's illegal on stolen land. First and foremost, that phrase has been around a long time, way older than her. Secondly, you don't want to go into the history of Turtle Island in America. There's a lot of fighting that has been happening on the land in which we call America and stuff for thousands and thousands of years. You're also on a planet in which people throughout the human history of existence been fighting for different land and taking shit and stealing it and taking it and giving it away and taking it. So you damn near can't live any fucking where with that type of ideology. But she don't really give a fuck. She's just saying shit to say shit because, celebrities, right? they got to do what they got to do to keep their bills paid or whatnot. Self-preservation. Call it what you want to. So when people bring up ICE, you're always going to have these arguments. And you can say you're right. You can say you're wrong. It's perspective. Because everyone's right and wrong to some degree, to some extent. But as long as we have a country with borders, we're always going to have these situations. And how that ties into the Epstein Files. Epstein, you could say, was running a blackmail ring or whatever, Mossad agent, Israel, acting on Israel. You say acting on, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. The whole child molestation, child raping, child sacrifice, all that shit go back to the Canaanites ball, those practices, those rituals has been in lots of cultures. You can go to Mesoamerica and during those times, that time period and stuff. A lot of stuff is nothing new. Certain sects or sectors or whatever have been doing this stuff. I was about to say secular, but I don't know if that word really works with this because secular is usually about religion. Either way, you get the gist of what I'm saying. So the biggest thing is that if this network has been going on forever, for thousands of years rather, then it's safe to say that the same institution that supports ICE agents or supports having a border, having immigration laws, they're all tied together. So people want to do something about this. But in order to do something about it, you have to destroy the establishment. And people are not really ready to destroy the establishment. And that's something I came to an agreement with myself a few years ago, because I've always been a conspiracy theorist. I've always been like, let's rage against the machine. Love them. It's always just, go against the man, go against the system, fight them or whatever. I used to be like, oh man, the white people got to do this. Black people need to do this. But I used to be all that shit. I went through all those different emotions and phases. And the reality is, majority of people don't care. Majority of people are under the false presumption that they're afraid. And majority of people just want to be taken care of by somebody and have them make a decision that they're just lazy. They're just lazy. Because as long as you have a country, you're going to have these issues. You're going to have Epstein's. You're going to also have ICE, immigration issues. And I say you're going to have Epstein's because, yes, Epstein is fucked up, right? We know this. But when you look into some of the Epstein files and just if you've done some research, so you see that he's connected to a lot of things in science. He's connected to other politicians. He's a financier. The money in which he was dealing with and the people that he was doing business dealings with, whatever case, they're all tied to the country, the government, the monetary system, the entertainment industry. So his hands is part of everything and stuff. Things that we all have enjoyed. Let's be real. Let's be real. People don't like Trump after he started running for president, but we watched. What was the show? The entrepreneur, the whatever shit. You're fired. We watched that shit, right? He was in hip hop videos. He was in Home Alone. The first one or the second one, right? Yeah, I think the second one in New York. He was in the movies and stuff, right? He was a pop icon and stuff. He was a real estate mogul. He was all those things. But he had some deals with Epstein. Did he know everything what Epstein was doing and whatnot? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, at some point he had to be kind of like, I'm hearing some rumors, whatever. Whether it were private rumors, I guess it wasn't public rumors until after 2008, which he already cut ties with him. Same for Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker, all these fucking people have been around Epstein and stuff. He's embedded into the foundation of the system in which y'all love. The same system y'all get mad about with ICE, the same system y'all get mad about Epstein is the same system in which y'all will go and vote for. So the problems in which people have an issue with, the solution that they know is right there in their face, they don't want to deal with. We have to just destroy this institution. And I'm not even talking in the physical sense. In the metaphysical sense, in the philosophical sense, that we no longer just adopt this institution, this foundation, this governmental structure. Because do we actually need them? No. We can do all this stuff on our own without them. We can have a monetary system without them. We can use AI for the way in which we want to use AI for the benefit of humanity, as opposed to, they're going to build these data centers and they're going to take all our data. They are the minority. When we talk about the 1%, the 1% control everything. But they're the 1%. Like, think about what that actually means. Think about how that sounds. The 1% control everything. Meanwhile, they're the 1%. Out of the other 99 You tell me we can't just take over whenever the fuck we feel like it? And it doesn't even have to be a global thing. We just start in America. Just start in America. But no, I come to the realization that this is what people want. People want to have this infrastructure. Then they want to bitch and complain about it. And that's okay. I enjoy these conversations. We can go have these debates and stuff and whatnot, but I have removed my emotions from it for the most part completely. I might post a video, I might seem all amped up and everything. A lot of times it's performance like the rest of you motherfuckers, right? It's theatrical, it's satirical, it's comedic. Like, hey, Trump do that shit all the fucking time. He does it all the time. He get on stage and lie all the time. And this and that, this and that. He likes to play the dumb guy, the villain, the so-called smart guy. He likes to play all these different characters and stuff. He doesn't want you to know who he really is because he knows it's all a show, right? No different than your so-called extreme leftists and stuff. And they go out there and protest and everything. It's all performance. They don't really mean that shit. They're going to go back home. Hell, they're going to hop in their fucking Tesla and drive home. Hey, your far right-wing neo-Nazi and stuff. Oh, we hate black people. We hate Jews. We all this other stuff. They're going to go right to work and sit right next to their black person, their Jewish friend, a co-worker or whatever. Be like, hey, man, hey, how was your weekend? They're like, everybody's, they're just fake, bro. They're just faking, man. It's just, people don't have a true sense of identity, self-identity. They don't really have a true sense of that. So they just pull on to things in which they can kind of throw labels onto themselves to be like, oh, look, this is who I am. It starts with the journey of the self. It goes back to what I was saying when I started this episode, the individual. Once you are aware of who you are as the individual, we can all come together as a community, as a society, as a civilization, as a species, to create systems in which we're not going to be harmonious. But the goal is balance. And that goal will always move and will always fluctuate, but we can always evolve to adjust to whatever we need to adjust to as time changes, right? The measurement of time in a sense. So we have all these things going on in the country and it's always going to be something, right? Give it another month or so, there's going to be another shooting, right? Give it another month or so, there's going to be another political scandal. A month after that, there'll be some sports thing. A month after that, there'll be some industry thing. And then next thing you know, it'll be election cycle season again. And then a bunch of stuff will be re-brought back up. And then we're just going to continue these cycles over and over and over, constantly being distracted away from the bigger picture, which is, why do we have this government infrastructure? Why do we have these monetary systems? Why do we go along with these health so-called laws and regulations? Why is the food system in itself questionable? What are they putting in the food? What are they putting in the water? Is there a better way to have electricity? Do we use nuclear energy? These are the questions that we all can sit down and talk about and figure out and shit. But we don't want to. So we have what we have. And I'm 1000% convinced y'all love this shit. And that's why y'all keep voting. That's why y'all keep picking and choosing who's your villain and who's your fucking hero. And you know what? Have at it. I'm gonna go create my autonomous society, and we're gonna go from there, right? So until next time, I'm gone.
Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, they